Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, if you're a subscriber, then you know there's something wrong. Something's a little different. There's an elephant in the room. And let's talk about it real quick. I just felt like it was time for a change, you know? So I just decided to play a deck again with Alwyn's Epiphany in it. I had to do it. Had to give it a try. Also, I shaved my beard. You are correct. But before we get into today's deck, if you don't mind, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's fast, it's free, but it really helps support me and the channel and get us out to a much bigger audience. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know whenever we have new content come out. So what are we playing today? It is SIMIC Midrange, and as much as I would like to see Alwyn's Epiphany banned, you know, you gotta play with certain cards sometimes if they're legal, and that's what we're doing today. Let's start off with our bounce spells. We're running 4 copies of the new Fading Hope. I really love the scry ability, it helps a lot. And we are running 4 copies of Divide by Zero. Not only can it temporarily counter a spell, but it can get something off the board that's problematic if need be, and it gets you into your learn board over here. And we have 2 copies of Environmental Sciences, 2 copies of Teaching of the Archaics, 1 Introduction to Annihilation, and 2 Mascot Exhibitions. Then we have some ramp cards in the deck, 4 copies of Prosperous Innkeeper, 4 Root Coil Creepers. Then we have a really fun, interesting card. I like it, but maybe that's because I've actually not played with this card yet. It's the only adversary I haven't played with, and that's Spectral Adversary. So you've probably seen it before, never read it on the channel, so just in case, 1 blue, 1 colorless for a creature spirit at 2/1. It has flash and flying. When Spectral Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 colorless and a blue any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Spectral Adversary. Then up to that many other target artifacts, creatures, and or enchantments phase out. So against a lot of decks, I'll just throw this out on turn 2, 3, or 4 at the end of their turn without even pumping it if I don't have the mana, say turn 2 or 3, or I've already put out a Root Coil, just to get that pressure on the board and flash it in. But otherwise, late game, it really helps you win games by throwing it down, phasing out 1 or 2 of their creatures, and finishing out the game with whatever you had on the board. Then we have 2 copies of Memory Deluge in our draw spell slot. We only really need 2 as long as we draw one, that is, because we're not only recasting it once for 4, but we're going to cast it again later for 7. So it's kind of like we have 4 copies of the deck in the deck. And with Root Coil Creeper, we get to spend the 2 mana on it if we're flashing that back, and later on we can even sacrifice this to get this back again. So a lot of utility and value there between those cards. Then we're going to go ahead into our game winners, our creatures, if you will. We have 4 copies of Hesychia's Chariot. It is an artifact, but it's also 2/2/2s. You know why it's in the deck. It's amazing. And if you're going to be running Hesychia's Chariot, you know we're going to be playing some copies, which in our case is 3 copies of Ren and 7. Way too strong to not be playing. And then, hey, look who's back. We have 3 copies of Coma, Cosmos Serpent. It's not always the best card. When it sticks, it's absolutely amazing, and it is a blast to play. So I am glad to see Coma here. Don't forget, it can't be countered. So don't be playing around counter spells as much as trying to make sure that you get it to stick past your opponent's upkeep phase before they draw, so that you get that 3/3 and you can make this indestructible. So that's a really fun card, and I'm glad we're going to play with that again. And then at the very top end, of course, as I mentioned, 4 copies of Alwyn's Epiphany, which kind of are closers or game-winning cards as well, but I didn't want to put them in this row, so they're over here. Those 4 copies, you can easily win games with those 2/1/1 birds. We've all seen it. It can be frustrating. Use them as just defense if you need to. If someone's coming at you super fast, do what I call an Alwyn's Epiphany panic, and just do it when your board state shouldn't be doing it, but you need those 1/1s, or just save it to close out the game. Then in our land package, we have 2 Hall of the Storm Giants and 1 layer of the Hydra as our creature lands to close out games, as mana sinks or just to get around board wipes. We have 6 islands. We have 7 forests. We have 4 of the pathways on color and 4 of the snarls on color. So the deck is interesting to play. It's a little bit different because there's no real removal in the deck, but it works and it gets wins. So make sure you stick around till the end for the summary. And without further ado, let's go ahead now and get into some gameplay. What do we got? Digo Gardenal. Denial. Something denial. Gigogar Denial. Hello, opponent. We go first. We have 2 lands. Spectral Adversary, Divide by Zero, Alwyn's Epiphany, Prosperous Innkeeper, and the Chariot. Let's go ahead and hold on to that. Let's start off with a good old forest. See what that brings us. No more lands. Let's get this out on blue. And, I mean, we could put this in a Foretell, but I say, well, let's get that Prosperous Innkeeper on deck. We hit a land off the top. We've got our Chariot, or we could hold back in Memory Deluge. So, let's put you out on blue. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just attack. And Memory Deluge to guarantee we keep hitting lands. Hello. Flunk it, huh? Okay. I mean, I don't need the Innkeeper that bad. Flunk away. Hollow Storm Giants. Opponent's going to go ahead and pass. We are going to Memory Deluge. It is Durrani's Disrupted. Interesting play by the opponent. Let's go ahead and put the Alrund's Epiphany into Foretell. I mean, we still get it later. Draw go, draw go, draw go, draw go, draw go, draw go. I think we flashed that in at the end of their turn. Just to have something on the board, and that way we're holding up Divide by Zeros. That's fine. They got my good sleeves. They can have a Prosperous Innkeeper. Okay, here comes the Spectre Adversary. Autopay. Phase that out for a turn. Infernal Grasp. You got it. So let's go ahead and get that Chariot going. And the turn. They throw down a land. I guess they could board wipe. Just for 2/2 cats. I mean, yeah, they could. They're looking to see, what can I do? What can I do? I don't think that, as I say, they can't bring back anything. We take our turn, and we now have Divide by Zero on deck. That is amazing. Well, let's go ahead and fire up the Chariot. We know it's going to happen. They're going to target it. Soul Shatter. We let that resolve and lose the Chariot. We need to hold up the Divide by Zero. We don't know what our opponent's up to. Siphoning Insight. I mean, I think I let them have that, and we're countering threats. Hello, Sadie. Ren and 7. I'm going to divide that. I believe I get that back, right? Yeah, I think I'll take that all day long. We'll grab an Environmental Sciences. They're tapped out. They're going to go ahead and come in for 1. We'll throw a land out. I want a Ren and 7, but I believe they're just... So, what's the worst case scenario? Then they board wipe and they get nothing back, because I believe that's mine. I think we just do it.
The trees can fight.
Even if they board wipe, we still have our Ren and 7. So they have to either single target removal this, single target removal this. Fading Hope, okay. Land off the top, we got ourselves a Coma. Siphoning Insight. Play with your own cards. Stop playing with my cards. Okay, yep. Innkeeper takes Ren down 1. There's a land off the top. Let's go ahead first and plus Ren and 7.
We can foster.
Well, that was kind of a whiff. A little bit of a whip.
Power grows with tender care.
Let's go ahead now into Epiphany. Do they get the counter spell? Wow, they had it. They only have a few cards left. Let's go ahead and attack with one cat. They gotta be running out of counter spells and stuff like siphoning insight again, huh? Whew! I mean, I think that's only their second one. They've done it a lot. They got our land. They're passing it back. Okay, so we put this out on green because we don't have a whole lot of that out there. I'm almost got enough to get this out and protect it. That's what we're working on here. So let's go ahead and plus this again.
We can foster much growth here.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. No. I want to hold up for Memory Deluge, I believe. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus the 2. We'll still have 7. So they still have a counter spell in their hand. I think I'm going to be zeroing Ren in 7 next turn. That being said, we're still only going to attack with one cat this turn. That way if they have removal, I don't want them hitting our Ren with this 1/1. I want to be able to have all the options possible. If I attack with both cats and they hit removal here, then they hit this for 1. We can't bring out the tree if we want to. We've got the coma, but we're just trying to protect it. Hey, that card is a little annoying. Next turn, we're good as long as Ren lives. Alan's Epiphany. We'll go ahead and divide that by 0. Get that out of here. Go back to your hand. We'll pick up a mascot exhibition. I think that's going to be game. Are we going to get a love rope? Well, I don't normally do this, but since they are giving us the love rope, let's give them a good game. Look at them. There we go. So let's go ahead and... We had big things happening. Good game. Toddy. Or 2 die. Who knows? Opponent. We go first. We have 3 lands. Fading Hope, Divide by 0, Memory Deluge, and a Coma. Coma's a little bit big in an opener, but that's okay. We got good stuff happening. We're going to lead with the island. Just in case, for some weird reason, we need to Fading Hope right away. We do not. We'll go into that layer of the Hydra and give it right back to the opponent. Are they? Is it? We don't know. When a spell you control deals damage, transform this. Okay. So, I think we pass this turn, holding on to the Fading Hope for the moment. Ooh, another one. Let's go ahead and put another blue out and just pass the turn back. We've got all kinds of tempo plays here. That is a fine. So they do 3 damage to us. And we're going to go ahead. Yep, and we're going to go ahead and just bounce that back to their hand. And we don't want another Coma. Let's go ahead and scry that to the bottom. That resolves. And we'll take our turn. Another Fading Hope. They're not doing anything anytime soon, but neither are we really. Let's just pass it back. Hopefully they're just going to cast Environmental Sciences into the Flame Channeler, and we'll just be fine with all of that. We're going to be Memory Deluging at the end of our opponent's turn. Throw the land into the Flame Channeler. Like clockwork. So we'll Memory Deluge. I will... I want the other Memory Deluge, but we're definitely taking Ren 7 and Alan's Epiphany. Those 2 things are happening. Ren and 7 is 100% happening. They're going to bolt it. We know they have direct damage, but can they get by a 5/5?
It is time for battle.
Can they get by a 5/5? What are you doing here? Okay. Can they hit that for 5? Light up the night. Wow. Look at them clean up the board. I don't think they have a planeswalker to get that back. That's fine. We're good.
Even in defeat,
It's not my favorite thing that just happened, but we're good. We're good. So let's hold off on the Hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could cast it next turn. We need to hold up Divide by Zero and Fading Hope. No, we do not. We don't. Let's go ahead and put that into Foretell. End the turn. Pass it back to the opponent. Okay, let's cancel that. Resolves. We get hit for that. What do you do? Just 1 damage or destroy a target. Remove a flame counter. While your flame, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play it. I should have bounced that already. Okay, so that was a misplay. I haven't played against that card a lot. We're going to go ahead and Fading Hope it now. They could recast it, and then I think we're just going to do it again. Are they going to... Oh, well, yeah, there's the ability. Well, you won't be playing that card this turn. I mean, I'm going to get to draw another card with Auron's Epiphany. I think I'm passing that. I want land. That resolves. We'll go ahead and just bounce that right back to their hand. Another Divide by Zero. No, thank you. I want land. Take our turn. There's the land. Coma's coming out in just a second. Let's Auron's Epiphany. Yes, yes, yes. This game is over. Coma coming out. Swinging for 2. End the turn. There's no... They're not going to be able to kill that, I don't think. We'll see. That's their... I mean, if they could kill that right now, then they've got a lot of cards missing from their hand in just a second. As the discard cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2. You can't tag that for 3 mana for 6. No way. I think that's a stabilization right there. This game is over. Let's call it a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's in their hand, but I don't think that there's anything they're going to be doing. So they want to draw, huh? Remove the flame counter. You may play that card. So what if they do that? They can't play it this turn because they'll be out of yeah, resolves. That's fine. Take our turn. Take another 3/3, please. So if I divide that by 0 at the end of their turn and or hold up Memory Deluge, yeah, let's just attack. Good game. Hello, Man Magic. Okay. Looks like we are going second. We have 4 lands. Fading Hope, Spectral Adversary, and a Prosperous Innkeeper. Hull the Storm Giants and Lair with a Snarl and a Pathway. So we're going to keep it. We'll probably start with the creature lands, hoping to find a basic land by the time we want to play this Snarl out. Looks like we're playing against Izzet. Foretell a card. Prosperous Innkeeper. They're going to Expressive Iteration or Prismari Command this turn. Watch. So it's not Expressive Iteration or Prismari. Okay. So we'll take our turn. I think I'm going to get the Snarl out while we can. Let's go ahead and get in for 1. If it lives. Boom. End the turn. Behold the multiverses. Yeah, we'll let them have their draws. What we're just trying to avoid is them having any actual impactful cards. So we have 2 of these, so we're just going to flash one out. In case we hit something like Ren and 7 off the top, I will not be pumping this. We just want the 2/1 flyer for a little bit of pressure on our opponent. Got the divide by 0. Okay. And we'll take our turn. I don't want to use that. Auron's Epiphany. Okay. So let's go put that out there. Let's go ahead and put that into Foretell. Swing in for 1. Pass it back to the opponent's turn. We really don't want to have to use that divide by 0 because without it, we can Auron's Epiphany next turn. That's granted, they have to tap out. They'll probably use these 2 reds to Environmental Science. There's their Auron's Epiphany. Or a counterspell, we don't know. Let's go ahead and throw out that Spectral Adversary again. Divide by 0 back to our hand again. Okay, that's fine. We knew that was happening. Are they going to get Mascot now? I think it's time for that. Oh, it is Introduction to the Annihilations. We get ourselves another divide by 0. Let's go ahead and put this out on blue. And let's just Auron's Epiphany because it gives us a bunch of little creatures out here to start whacking them with. Swing in for 1, get some life, get a turn back, and then we have divide by 0 all over the place. I definitely want to get the Root Coil Creeper out on the board, gain some life, and swing in for 3, end the turn, and really hope that that's Auron's Epiphany. I mean, ooh, do I hope that's Auron's Epiphany. Huh! Let's go ahead and get, I think, Teaching is the play now. So now we just go ahead and swing in with everything. And then we end the turn. Because if they throw land and Auron's, we are going to divide it again. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost game over. Throw it. Play that Auron's Epiphany. Play it. You know you want to, sir. They have a counterspell in their hand for that. So we can Spectral Adversary that at the end of their turn. Or we'll wait to our turn. I think I divide it by 0 and see if they want to counter it. Because they might have a counterspell, but then they're tapped out and nothing in the Foretell. I don't know. They'll get the counter. There's the Test of Talents. So that... I mean, we've already used so many of those, so that resolves. Between the Fading Hope and the Spectral Adversaries, this dragon won't be here next turn, one way or the other. Resolve. That's on the board. Pash. We don't have a counterspell for the Auron's Epiphanies, so that is a little bit of a problem, I think. So, man, one more man. So, if I throw this in now just for 2 extra damage, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we can bounce that, hopefully, and have 8, 9. So, in theory, we can win if they can't stop that. So, we're just going to throw this in. Okay. Then, we're going to try to... Let's just put this out on blue right now. We're going to try to Fading Hope that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, they couldn't do anything. Well, then we do this for, what, 3? And then we just win. Good game. Okay, Brew Crew, that is going to do it for SIMIC Midrange. I hope you enjoyed those games as much as I enjoyed playing them. Quick change, I am going to try, for the most part, the deck is super solid, but I am going to try dropping 1 Coma for 1 more Ren and 7, because this costs 7, this costs 5, and this is super amazing. So I'm going to play test the deck like this, but I might flip it back. I don't know. Other than that, I really, really like where the deck is at. It feels super, super strong. The only thing I could maybe consider doing is maybe dropping one Spectral Adversary and adding in one more Memory Deluge, but I'm not going to do that yet because I'm really enjoying the Spectral Adversary as of the moment. Now let's real quick go over craftables, what I think you should or shouldn't spend wildcards on. So uncommons and commons, as always, are pretty safe. Spectral Adversary, I'm having a fun time with it. I only had 3. I did have to craft 1. If that's your situation, then maybe craft 1. I don't know if this is going to be seeing enough play at the moment, at least, for you to be crafting a play set of these if you only own 1 or if you don't own any at all. So be careful there unless you're just wildcard rich. I don't know if you should be crafting those. Memory Deluge is a super solid card. Craft away, Brew Crew. It's amazing. Ezekiel's Chariot and Ren and 7, definitely craft those. I think super strong cards. Coma is not seeing a whole lot of play right now. It's a blast of a card to play, so if you have a bunch of wild cards, mythic wild cards that is, go ahead and craft 1 or 2 if you need them, but if you don't, maybe don't try this deck out, or just play without those, add something in at the top end. I don't know if you want to craft those, especially this close to Crimson Vow. Alrund's Epiphany, might as well craft them if you're going to be playing the blue colors. It's a really strong card. It goes in all kinds of deck. Worst case scenario, they ban it and they give you some wild cards back. So unless they suspend it, and then I don't believe you get wild cards back. So keep that in mind before you craft it, and you don't say, hey, you said it was safe, and then they do something like that, then you're just out a whole bunch of wild cards. But at the moment, I think it's pretty safe to craft. Lands, in my opinion, if you watch the channel, you know, are always safe to craft because of the fact they can go in so many decks. In the sideboard, teaching you the Archaics, at least have 1. If you don't want to craft the other one, just put a different lesson card in. And then Mascot Exhibition, once again, at least have 1. If you don't want to craft the other one, I understand that. Once again, put in just a different lesson card. But I think it's safe to, if you have the wild cards and you plan on playing decks like this, to craft 2 of both, or to finish out your set if you only have 1, craft that second one. So those are the changes. Those are the things I think you should or shouldn't spend your wild cards on. Thank you very much for watching. Leave us a comment down below letting us know anything you want to tell us. We love engaging with you. Please hit that subscribe button. It's fast, it's free, but it really helps support me, the channel. Sadie, say goodbye. Everybody, don't forget to hit that notification button so you know whenever we have new content come out. And as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.